So the question everybody's asking right now when it comes to Bitcoin is the top in. Because Bitcoin just broke down, and just when you thought it was going to bounce, it actually went lower. And now we're sitting at some technical levels that we haven't seen since October of 2023. So I want to go ahead and tell you 3 things that you need to know right now. 1, was this the actual cycle top? Why this could actually be the cycle top. 2, I'm going to talk about why this might actually be a great time to buy regardless. And 3, we want to look at the 1 technical level that will tell us everything whether or not Bitcoin and crypto are going to go back to all-time highs anytime soon. So hey, nothing's financial advice. Don't listen to me. I'm kidding. But with that said, be smart. Don't be a dummy. Let's go ahead, take a look at some charts. Now, some quick context. We're here. Bitcoin was sitting around 90K, and just when you thought that we were going to get a relief rally, no, we're oversold. We're due for a bounce. Of course, it didn't bounce. We broke back down, and now we're down over 32% from the all-time high just a few weeks ago. And we just hit a level that we have not seen. That is the weekly 100 EMA moving average and a major Fibonacci level. We're talking about support that hasn't been tested in a long while. Just go ahead and take a look at this arrow down here. It's been a very long time. I get it. This is brutal. This is scary. A lot of people are down bad. And when you expect a bounce and it doesn't come, that's when people start asking, is this the top? Is the bull market over? So let's go ahead. Let's break down both sides because honestly, the data will tell us, and let's take a look at that. Now let's start with the uncomfortable truth, and that is talk about why this could be the top. Now, 1, we just failed to bounce where we were, quote, supposed to bounce, and that was at 110K and 100K, and that's kind of bearish. It shows that there are no buyers stepping in as we continue to roll down in price. 2, we've broken multiple high time frame weekly support levels, and we're making lower lows, and that is textbook downtrend reversal bear market type of price action. 3, man, the macro environment, it's a disaster. Trade wars globally all over the place. We had government shutdowns recently, economic uncertainty all over the world. Number 4, Powell actually came out hawkish a few weeks ago, and that damage, man, it's still playing out. Rate cuts got pushed off the table. Now they may be back on, but nobody knows. And again, a big reason why we've seen all the markets start to pull back in the last 2 months. And last, man, the momentum has completely shifted. Euphoria is gone. Fear's taken over. So yeah, if you think this is a top, you've actually got some evidence to support your view. The chart looks bad, the macro looks bad, and the sentiment, man, it is just in the gutter right now. But if you want the bull case, if you want to see the side of why this is actually a potential good time to buy right now, let's go ahead and talk about that, because here's the other side. Here's why this might be a great time to buy, specifically with the technical reasons. Right now, we are at a weekly 100 EMA. This level is just, it hasn't been touched since October of 2023. And if you remember, just take a look at the chart right here. If you remember what happened in October of 2023, that was the bottom. That was before the launch pad set for the entire bull run. That actually marked the bottom of when Bitcoin was at 27,000, and then it ended up running up over $100,000 over the next 2 years. Not only are we at a major EMA, we're also at a major Fibonacci level. Again, this is where a lot of algos and bots tend to buy and sell, but for multiple technical levels, this really tends to point to confluence on the chart. And a lot of times when you have this much technical confluence, there tends to be a bounce. Now 3, the selling sentiment of the entire market seems to be what is causing the drawdown here. Not really fundamentally driven, but just look at what people are saying. Bitcoin's dead. I'm selling everything. Bear market confirmed. Man, it's pure panic. So this is capitulation, and capitulation tends to mark bottoms. And next, here's the big one right here. So things look so bad right now that the Fed might have no choice but to cut interest rates, right? Even though Powell was hawkish, the data might force him to act. And when markets break down like this, when fear takes over, when the economy shows cracks, that's when the Fed likes to step in every time. Of course, if they don't cut rates in December, then definitely in Q1 of 2026. And that is when Powell leaves and the new potential dovish Fed chair will come in. And that is a real reason to believe in a mega rally, even by Q1 of 2026. Even Fed Watch is showing a 10% increase in a rate cut in December. We were at 20, 30%. Now we're up over 40% right now, and that could actually continue to rise in the coming weeks. Now, let me tell you something that's really important about sentiment, and that is what bottoms look like. Maximum fear, complete capitulation. When people were calling for 200K Bitcoin just a few weeks ago, those same people are saying Bitcoin to 50K now. Man, to me, that tends to be a bottom signal. When everyone expects lower prices, when everyone gets scared, when everyone has given up, that's when the markets tend to reverse. Narrative tends to follow price, not price following narrative. And just with the low price, we have all this quantum computer scare right now, as if Bitcoin can't upgrade its software, can't upgrade its hardware as it does every cycle. And we're talking about extreme fear levels in both stocks at an 8, in crypto at an 11. In fact, if you go ahead and look at any chart, it's going to show you that the fear level is at extremes. And the last time fear levels were this low in Bitcoin and crypto, well, that was the last time we had a big bottom back in March and April of 2025, back when Bitcoin was 70K before it ran up $50,000. And we're seeing similar, if not worse, fear levels at the moment for Bitcoin and crypto. But hey, man, look, the Bitcoin network, it's still running. Adoption is still happening. Technology hasn't changed over the past 2 months, okay? This is pure fear, and fear creates the best buying opportunities that you will ever see in the market when nobody else wants to buy, especially when you combine that fear with Bitcoin hitting major technical support levels as the weekly 100 EMA and Fibonacci levels, as we talked about on the charts. Now let's go ahead and talk about the key level that you need to watch. Now, first off, I want to hold this 100 EMA. If we close below it on the weekly chart, it's probably going to be a problem. I do want to see Bitcoin hold above 85K on the weekly chart. That's going to be important. If we can defend this level, man, that is the first sign of a bottom if we can hold this. Now, second, we need to see a bounce, a real bounce with real volume, not just a dead cat bounce. I don't want to just see price go up and just come back down really weak. I want to see buyers step in. And third, this is a big one that I was talking about earlier. I not only want to see buyers step in, I want to see price come back up to 100 and 102K. I want to see Bitcoin price not only tap that level, I want to see it break above it on the weekly chart, close above that level, because that will be a case that we start to put in higher lows, okay, across the board on the weekly chart. I want to see that happen. That is a key level to me to show that Bitcoin isn't just going to reject its first difficult resistance level as price goes back up. To me, that's kind of the line in the sand. And then we'll look at 110K after that. That's the next level. You got to take it week by week, level by level though, but that's what you want to watch. Now, you're probably asking, what's a catalyst for a bounce? What needs to happen? First off, we've got a lot of information coming up from the government. Of course, the job data is coming out, and of course, it is higher than expected, which should push the Fed to want to cut rates sooner rather than later. Two, I want to see the Federal Reserve actually acknowledge the market stress and pivot. Remember, they're data dependent, and the data is getting worse. And don't forget, President Trump wants Powell to leave. He wants him gone. He wants to replace him with somebody who's going to print money, who's going to push up the market. A new dovish Fed chair comes in, and rate cuts will likely accelerate, leading for liquidity to flood in. And the big question is what you need to ask yourself right now. Is this the top forever, right? Is this the last top that we're ever going to see? And the answer to that is no, of course it's not. Every time we have a dip, every time we have a bottom, prices always end up rallying higher. As I said, it's not over, right? Humans don't change. Opportunities don't change. New opportunities always arrive. New narratives, new stories, new things to push the market up after this downtrend, just like every market downtrend in the past. I'm not going to sit here and tell you for certain that was not the top or that is the top or whatever. Nobody knows, okay? Anybody who tells you that is lying. What I am telling you is this: you got to be smart. Don't be a dummy. Use your head, use logic. We are at major technical levels that have not been tested for over 2 years. The sentiment in the market right now is extreme fear, right? This marks a bottom every time, not tops. It tends to bounce when things get this negative. And the breakdown is so severe that it might actually force the Fed to make a move. Whether this actually was the top and this is a great time to buy, we've yet to see. But you have to watch what happens right here. It's pivotal on what Bitcoin does here in the coming 2 weeks. Will we bounce? Can we break above 100K and hold it? The market is going to tell us, and you just have to watch. But here's some wisdom. This is what I will tell you, okay? Here's what I've learned in crypto over the past decade. I've been quite successful. Tops happen when everybody's euphoric. When everybody thinks that it's going to zero, that's when bottoms happen. When fear is at its maximum levels, right? Okay, right now, everybody thinks that it's over. And so to me, that tends to make me feel like a significant bounce is coming, and to be more positive on the outlook rather than thinking that everybody and everything is just going to zero. Don't trade on emotion. Don't trade on hope. Trade on levels. Be smart. Watch these levels. Watch the Fed and stay educated. And so with that said, that is what I'm watching, and what I want you to do next is I want you to stay ahead and hit the subscribe button. I want you to hit the like button, turn on notifications, because I'm going to be making more videos in the coming days and weeks to make sure to support you guys in difficult times like right now. With that said, I'm going to be watching these levels like a hawk, all right, and breaking down every move in real time. So drop a comment below. Do you think that this was the top? I want to know why, okay? And if this video is helping you out in any way, smash the like button. The market will tell us soon what's going to happen next. So watch those levels, stay patient, stay disciplined, and I'll see you guys on the next one.